Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us on KREM 2 News at 5. I'm Tom Sherry. Mark and Whitney have the day off. Well, a rise in pediatric COVID cases, schools are closing down or going remote, and Idaho could be on the brink of going back to crisis standards of care. Omicron is ripping its way through the inland Northwest, and the data backs it up. Spokane County's case rate sits at 1,749 per 100,000 residents. It's hard to grasp the numbers in Idaho. While they're reporting about 60 cases per 100,000 residents, the Panhandle Health District says that doesn't give the full picture. About 22,000 cases statewide are still pending results due to the recent surge in cases. The COVID cases we're seeing now are record-breaking, and the demand for tests right now are in line with what we saw at the beginning of the pandemic, and there still isn't enough supply. Our own Ian Smay spoke with some of those trying to get a test, as well as the local health district. He joins us now in the newsroom with more on why the tests are hard to come by. Ian.
Spokane County has broken its own single-day case record multiple times as the highly contagious Omicron variant has become the dominant strain of coronavirus. At the same time, people are struggling to find appointments to get tested for COVID-19, and the Spokane Regional Health District said it comes down to a supply problem. The line at the Spokane Falls Community College testing site started to wrap around itself at times on Monday. One man told KREM he was able to find an appointment easily. Others had a harder time.
It was pretty difficult, actually. I looked online. I didn't have anything publicly available until Friday, and obviously that's not going to work, It needs to be immediate.
According to the booking website, the Spokane Falls free testing location is fully booked until Thursday. Its sister location at the Spokane County Expo Center had some appointments open up with short notice on Monday afternoon. But after that, the soonest available appointment was again not until Thursday. Those in line at the Spokane Falls site felt the frustrations of finding a test.
Pretty difficult in our area. We're out from Moon Lake and everybody's out at the tests.
The free public testing sites aren't the only ones booked up. At about 10:30 Monday morning, all Walgreens locations in Spokane County except for one were out of drive-through tests. It was a similar story for Rite Aid, with the next available appointment being offered at 10 a.m. on January 24th. And even for those willing to pay for a COVID-19 test through a medical provider, it hasn't been simple.
I called the doctor's office. They're 2 weeks out. The urgent care is, a few days out?
Yeah.
And then I even tried calling Rite Aid, and
no one has any.
Nobody has anything.
According to Spokane Regional Health District spokesperson Kelly Hawkins, the problem is caused by testing supplies not keeping up with the increasing demand. She said this has been the case for a couple of weeks now. The health district hopes that the federal program offering at-home tests starting this Wednesday will partially help with the problem. That program allows people to order up to 4 at-home tests per household through the website covidtest.gov. She also said the health district is waiting to hear back on efforts being made to create more testing availability in the area. Discovery Health runs the testing sites at Spokane Falls Community College and the Spokane County Expo Center. Hawkins said they are trying to create more testing availability by hiring more people in an attempt to extend the operating hours at the testing sites. Those jobs are posted on Discovery Health's website. In the newsroom, Ian Smay, KREM 2 News.
Well, we know that was a lot, so where to get a COVID test or more information about Omicron spread here in the inland Northwest, we've got that information for you. Just text the word COVID to 509-448-2000. We'll send that link right to your phone. Taking a break from the headlines, it was a little bit warmer than average today for our January weather, and the sun was peeking through the clouds, and we enjoyed that. Meteorologist Thomas Patrick joining us now. Thomas, are we expecting any big shakeups this week?
Nothing too major, Tom. Maybe a little bit more rain, possibly some morning snow come this Thursday, but all in all, fairly quiet weather. How quickly we went from an awesome sunset about 30 minutes ago, and it's pretty darn dark out as of right now. So such as the wintertime months, it gets dark very quickly still around here. Our sunset's still before 5 o'clock. Right now down to 37 degrees, but still all in all fairly mild conditions for January standards. As for the fog, which has been the big weather headline recently, only a few advisories off to the south for tonight. No advisories for Spokane or the Coeur d'Alene areas, but that's not to say there might still be some patchy fog out there this evening, just maybe not as widespread as it has been recently. In fact, a lot of snow has melted, a little bit less available moisture to evaporate in the evening hours. Light disturbance moving through north central Idaho for tonight. It's mainly valley and lowland rain and mountain snow, and it's fairly light stuff. Didn't see any kind of major delays across Lookout Pass with that disturbance. Getting down to about 30 degrees tonight, but there is a chance for that patchy fog to once again redevelop. So we'll show you how many more days we're still going to see the potential for the foggy weather and what to expect for this Thursday in terms of rain and snow across the inland Northwest.
Looking to the day's other top stories this evening, 2 people have been rushed to the hospital after an explosion at a homeless camp along the river near Felts Field. A man and woman were taken to the hospital this afternoon with critical injuries after a camping cook stove inside a tent caused an explosion. This story is still developing right now. Watch for updates tonight on KREM 2 News at 6 o'clock. Well, the search continues tonight for a suspect accused of stabbing 2 people in North Spokane. It all happened last night. Police received a call about 2 women fighting in the parking lot of a gas station around 11:30 last evening. Well, that fight escalated when both of the women's boyfriends decided to become involved. At one point, one of the suspects took out a knife, and that's when he stabbed the other man and one of the women in the chest. According to police, the suspect is still outstanding. The 2 victims were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. Well, tomorrow, the teenager who killed 1 classmate and shot 3 others at Freeman High School is going to be sentenced. Earlier this month, Caleb Sharp pleaded guilty to amended charges of first-degree murder and 3 counts of attempted murder for that shooting that happened back in the fall of 2017. Tomorrow, students affected by the shooting will be allowed to give victim impact statements in person or via video feed before the judge sentences that gunman. Murder in the first degree typically carries a sentence of life in prison. The defense, though, petitioned the court earlier this month for a lesser sentence of 20 years since Sharp was a juvenile at the time of the shooting. We're going to be in that courtroom tomorrow, and we'll let you know what the judge decides.
I heard this huge sound. It was like an earthquake, and I could hear something bad's happening. And I looked out the window and I saw one house slide down completely down the hill.
2 people and their dog were able to evacuate their home as it slides off its foundation and collapsed in Bellevue. It all happened this morning. A major water main break was reported in the area, but it's still unclear if that's what caused this landslide. Specialists, including structural engineers, are at the scene determining the stability of the house. It's sitting at about a 45-degree angle, and thankfully, look at that, no one was injured, although around 40 people in that neighborhood needed to be evacuated. Well, did you see them? After 2 amazing games this weekend, the Zags are back on top of the AP poll. The Bulldogs crushed BYU, and then on Saturday, they had a large win against Santa Clara. Those wins secured the Zags the top spot this week. This season, the Zags have a 14-2 record. Also, heads up, Gonzaga fans. Gonzaga is going to be playing on Thursday. After all, remember they originally postponed that game against Pacific because COVID issues on the Pacific team? Well, the Zags are now taking advantage of that postponement. They rescheduled the game with San Francisco. They were supposed to play San Francisco back on January 6th. Today is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and here on KREM 2, we're honoring Dr. King's legacy. The journey it took to make a federal holiday. We'll explain coming up next.